Edit an explosion behind me. Oh wait, you have to be in front of me for that.
I'm flatulent with my swing. Bruh.
Bruh.
Bruh, 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 bruh.
That's alright, we give it a little tappy taps.
Yo!
Channel your inner golden retriever. Oh.
We're golfing today.
We're golfing today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of Ham and Eggs Golf, where we combine ancient mysteries, ancient histories, and literally anything we find interesting with our attempts to par the front nine here at Deltona Golf Club in beautiful Central Florida. I'm Justin. Practicing over here is Ethan, aka eBay, aka Breezy, aka the Mouth of the South, aka the Beast from the East, aka Mouth that runs like river. Boy, he's got a lot of nicknames. He's got more nicknames than Santa's sack has presents. Topic of today is going to be the mysterious Nazca Lines located in South America. So, grab a snack, sit down, strap in, get prepared to have some fun while we question everything. Let's go make some fun. So in the Nazca Desert in southern Peru, South America, there's a group of over 700 geoglyphs. What's a geoglyph, you ask?
What is a geoglyph?
A geoglyph is a large design that's generally longer than 4 meters, which is like 13 feet. That's like if you stood on top of me. So they're larger than 13 feet. They're made out of the landscape, like stones, gravel, or like the earth. So there's 2 types of Nazca of geoglyphs. There's positive geoglyphs, which is when it's like when you take stuff and stack it to make a design.
Oh, to make it positive, like above the earth.
And then there's negative geoglyphs, which is formed by removing part of the ground.
So one of them is like placing rocks to make a picture. One of them is like, take me away.
Yes. And all of the Nazca Desert geoglyphs are all negative geoglyphs. So they removed like this top layer of reddish brown, like pebbles and gravel and stuff like that. And what it shows underneath is like a yellow gray subsoil. So it's completely contrasting to everything around it. So it's totally noticeable when you see it. So what scientists claim is that these negative geoglyphs, or Nazca Lines, were made somewhere between 500 BC and 500 AD, which, if you ask me, that seems like a pretty broad spectrum to assume when something was made. It seems like a wildly large...
Was he there 1,000 years ago? Or was it made yesterday, just put here?
It is essentially what they seem to be saying.
You rhymed there. Essentially what they seem to be saying.
Essentially what they seem to be saying is the Nazca Lines are made and they stand.
Yeah. Honestly, I think for how long it's been since, what would you say, 780?
500 AD or either 500 BC.
I think 500 BC is a long time, and I think there must have been like a sandstorm or something that would like wash them away or something, you know, or like blue sand over it.
Since it's such an arid place, that the natural disasters and natural natural rains and stuff like that don't really affect it like it would something normal. Now, most of the lines, because I told you there's over
700.
Yeah, it's a group of over 700 geoglyphs. Most of and that includes lines. So most of the lines run straight across like the landscape. So like they're just straight lines across the landscape. But there's also designs of plants and animals. So if you were to take all the lines that were made in the Nazca Desert, you know how sometimes they do that, like, to go around the earth this many times.
Yeah, like your blood vessels.
All of them put together is around 800 miles. Our grandma says.
No, because the Oregon Trail is 2,000 miles. Therefore, it's from Oregon probably to like, I don't know my states in that area. But if the Oregon Trail is 2,000 miles, it's like almost half of the Oregon Trail.
It takes about 8 hours to get to your Aunt Jackie's. So.
That's... Whoa. I had a voice crack.
Well, and all the lines, everything made there, it covers over 19 square miles. And they are usually about 4 to 6 inches deep. That's how deep they dug them. And about 13 inches wide. So the natives there took the time to dig them that deep and that wide. I mean, it seems like a very structured way to do that.
Yeah, and is all of the geoglyphs that specific size?
No, all the geoglyphs they run at different sizes.
No, I mean for the lines.
But the lines, they're all right there around 13 inches wide and about 4 to 6 inches deep.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's very specific.
It is very specific. Nazca Lines. Some of the shapes that are made can only be seen from about 1,600 foot in the air.
That's a lot of feet.
So if these things were made in 500 BC, it begs the reason, who's seeing them?
Yeah.
Some of them you can see them from like the foothills or from certain like mountains aside of it, but for the most part, the really big ones, you can't see them unless you're about 1,600 foot in the air.
How do you know what you're drawing when you're that low to the ground and you're supposed to be from that high up?
Shapes of the geoglyphs that they make are all done in like one continuous line, from what I understand. Meaning, like if they did an ant and it has 6 feet and a middle, they come in on like the bottom right foot or the back right foot for an ant, and then come around, make the other foot, come around, make the other foot, come up, make the head, come back around, make the other foot, last foot, make the tail, and come out right beside the other foot. Okay. So it's all one continuous line, which is a weird way to do things. I wonder what made them think we should do it in one continuous line. There's more than 70 animal and plant designs. They include hummingbird, spider, fish, condor, heron, monkey, lizard, dog, cat, and a human that resembles an astronaut. Like he looks like he's wearing like a helmet. So some reasons they may have been made. This was just different people theorize. One is for like astronomy, just like studying celestial objects. Cosmology. Another theory is it represents the constellations. That they were looking at the stars and they made the shape of a monkey or a hummingbird or whatnot. Another is a representation of the zodiac signs. So like they were picking an animal or something to represent. And then another theory is that it's like a religious practice that involved the worship of like deities or gods.
Monkey King.
To bring like water and success for their crops. So I think they drew all these things as like worship to different deities so that their crop season would go well. But there is one other theory. We'll talk about that one.
You can't just do that.
Now, let's talk about my favorite reason. So there was a Swiss writer, and I'm going to butcher this name, Erich von Daniken, I think is how you say it. If not, help me in the comments. Who's a strong believer in extraterrestrial visitors.
Oh.
Exactly. And he wrote a book, Chariots of the Gods, in 1968. And in the book, he describes the lines were used as landing sites for UFOs. And he cites some Sanskrit literature that describes a story where an aircraft landed on Earth and the local people watched as human-like beings with gold and shimmering skins walked and mined for metals and then flew away in their ship. Now this was like some ancient text of Sanskrit that he describes in his book. So it's like the people from back then are describing what they saw. That's what it sounds like to me. You never know. So those ancient astronauts or extraterrestrials, but they call them like ancient astronauts. Like they've been like traveling like from galaxy to galaxy to planet. So I think that's why they call them ancient astronauts. They supposedly returned and built landing tracks, which is why they have like a mountain that looks like it's cut off over there. Like it's just like somebody sawed the top of the mountain off. So it looks like a landing strip for like UFOs and stuff like that. And then they eventually just left forever. So the local natives started making these geoglyphs as like an invitation so that the gods would come back. That's what this person thinks. And he thinks that they're trying to get them to come back, but they never do. So nobody even knew that these things were even around, these the Nazca Lines, until like the 1930s, because we didn't have airplanes until the 1930s.
Yeah.
And since you had to be so high to see them,
people just thought they were just things.
They just looked like little lines. So they could see them from the sky after like the 1930s. My favorite glyph, and this is how I'll close this out for the most part. My favorite glyph is called the Sun, Star, and Cross of Peru.
Close.
It's also known as the Mandela. The glyph, it's a glyph that it's carved with exceptional precision, and it's in like a geometric shape. So, and it sits extremely remote on top of like an arid mountain plateau away from all the other geoglyphs. So it's like it's secluded to its own little thing. And so it's a large square about 180 foot across with an inner circle that touches the sides of the square, so it's the same diameter. And it's got smaller squares that are like 20 foot wide in the middle and in the corners of the giant square. Yeah, 20 foot wide for just the squares in the middle. 180 feet across for the large squares. Ridiculous. Yes, so this one's my favorite because it's the only one that doesn't seem to fit. And you can give reasons for like the animals and the planets and everything like that as to why they might make those for like the cosmos or astrology or some other reasoning, maybe religious purposes. But the fact that this is like a geometric shape stands out different than all the other ones. But what it looks like to me if I had to guess,
Oh, slow
a
down, slow down, slow down.
blueprint that was left by these
That's
extraterrestrials on how we can do measurements and how to build stuff in an active way to build our civilization with geometric shapes and how to use them. That's my best guess of what I think it could do.
Like shapes, like
It's like instructions, like a blueprint to show us, okay, this is how you would make these geometric patterns, because it almost looks like
so it was
it's
'cause I was
inset,
up to left then.
and there's like these holes in it everywhere that create like these X's in it, and
Nice.
so what it looks like to me is like a blueprint that kind of explains, okay, these are patterns, this is how this happens, this is, I don't know, maybe it's instructions that we don't understand. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that ends our episode involving the Nazca Lines. And if you're wondering, we ended up 5 over, so we got a score of 41, which not too bad considering how we golf. But if you can, give us a like, subscribe, share this channel everywhere you can, tag some other golfers in it that might enjoy this, introduce your kids to it. They'd love it. It's lots of fun. You get to learn lots of cool stuff. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
And if you are kids, show it to your parents.
Absolutely. And don't forget, question everything.
Question everything.